The Quench, where you ask, we answer.
So, welcome to The Quench. Now, in a different segment of The Quench, we talked about postgraduate depression. And we said one of the major causes of postgraduate depression will have to be our expectations when we get out of higher learning institutions. We have been told now and again that education is the key to success. But when we come out here, we realize that we have the key, but not necessarily the success. We have not the skills to unlock the opportunities that we were promised by education. So today we are discussing starting small. And I am hosting a very knowledgeable and diverse audience that will help us give different examples, different scenarios, and different stories that will tell us how they started small or how they feared starting small. And also, I am hosting Pastor MUCHINA and Pastor MWANGI, who will be our voices of experts, trying to help us analyze how to start small. So let's talk about it. Shall we talk about it? I want to start us off from this point of view. Have you ever wanted to start a business? Have you ever wanted to start a business? Then a little voice in your head tells you, did I go through all of those years of education to become a businessman? Have you ever wanted to sell something as simple as charcoal? And then something tells you, what will my village people say when they see me selling charcoal? Have you ever wanted to apply for a job, a small job, become an M-Pesa attendant? And you're thinking, what will my people say if they see me as an M-Pesa attendant with all of these degrees? It is worse if you are a community child, yeah? If you went to school and the whole community knew you went to school. It was different when you performed very highly in your KCSE, let's say. So you performed nicely in your KCSE and you're here and you're looking for a job as a charcoal owner. You can imagine that scenario. In such a time, it becomes very difficult for us to be able to start small. We have been continuously told that we deserve better. We have been convinced that if we do this, this is automatic. If we do this, we will end up like this. But we have not ended up like that. And now we are sad, we are depressed, we are going through the whole circle of emotions. That is what I want us to talk about today. And the first question is, I would like to ask Pastor MUCHINA, what are the tips to a successful career life? And here's why I'm asking that question for a start. It's because we have this assumption that our careers should be white-collar jobs. We have this assumption that you should work in front of a computer with an AC in your office, you know, that whole setting. You're seeing yourself with a secretary bringing you coffee every morning. And those things that you have watched every single place and those things that you have been told. What is that thing that you're missing out in your career life? Is it perseverance? What is it? So tell us, what are the tips to a career life? Pastor MUCHINA.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I want to start by saying the greatest enemy of success, any success, is fear. And if I leave it there, it might not be conclusive. So I want to push a step further and ask, from my very answer, pose a question, fear of what? Because if I say the worst enemy of any success is fear, and I don't define what kind of fear, what are you afraid of? You are just a graduate. You haven't offended anybody. You haven't broken any law. And so if I tell you the worst enemy of any success is fear, I won't be helpful. But to be very helpful to you, I want to say fear of what? Fear of being or becoming ashamed.
I can relate. Trust
If
me.
there is one thing that you might fight vehemently, it is fear to be ashamed. And the only way to overcome shame, it is not by running away from it, it is by confronting it.
How?
And so many people are not ready to confront shame. Shame of what will people say? Like me, when I entered into business, I began by roasting maize. And there was enough shame. But now life had pushed me to a corner whereby I was no longer afraid to be ashamed because I was already ashamed. And when life pushes you to that point, and don't allow it to push you to that point. When life pushes somebody to that point, there is only one way: to fight your fears and to mind your own business.
Hey, okay.
Because the worst thing people have done to themselves is allowing other people to mind and manage their lives. This guy only graduated the other day and he is roasting maize.
The whole
This guy, a full graduate, and he is washing cars. But let me tell you, there is glory of starting small.
Yes.
Because the frustrations you fight at that very scratching starting point, you will never fight them there where you are going. And so my first tip is, don't be afraid of shame. I know your teacher never told you that. But you are very well equipped with the theoretical knowledge. It's very good. But then there is the other part, which the school did not teach you, called the practical part of it. And when you purpose to apply the practical part of it, now that is where people say it is where the rubber hits the road. And also, it is good for you to enter into life knowing that I am entering into a battlefield. Life is a business of war, and you will never be requested to fight, but life will always fight you, force you to fight. You must equip yourself with a mindset of fighting. Not fighting people, get me right. And the first battle you have to fight, it is that inside battle that goes within you.
The intrinsic one, the one that comes from within.
Once you win that one, tomorrow, your very colleague whom you used to school together will find you in town selling eggs, boiled eggs. And you are not afraid. You are not ashamed. Why? Because you know, I have started here, but this is not where I'm going.
Yes.
I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. And in business, another thing I would want to highlight, after you have decided not to be ashamed, you have decided to fight whatever the battle that is within you, then discipline. There is something I have seen in this generation which is not doing them favor. They want to succeed and they want to live a leisure life. Success and leisure do not go together.
They don't.
Success.
Someone would ask, why are you succeeding if you're not going to be happy? I mean,
but you must know when.
When to be happy.
Can you start celebrating when you have started the journey?
You get 100 shillings. You eat the stock.
You start working today and you start celebrating today. Something is not right with you. Because you want to behave like somebody who is 50 years. You want to behave like your father. Your father, he can enjoy what he has made. What have you made?
100 shillings.
To start living a leisure life. Because money, it demands a discipline. There is financial discipline. Even if you get that white collar job, or you start your own business, and after starting receiving your salary, you engage in leisure, you have already shot yourself down.
Yes, thank you, thank you. You had, from the pastor himself, fear of shame. That battle that is within you. And most importantly, discipline, yeah? One of the jobs that I did when I was in campus was to sell hot dogs. I'll put them in quotes because they were very quote-full hot dogs. But I have to tell you, I sold them one day. And then we ate the hot dogs. My business partners and I decided we are hungry and we will sell tomorrow. But once we finished eating the hot dogs, we did not have money to continue selling. So that business went like that. So discipline is important. Thank you so much, Pastor BENARD, MUCHINA. Pastor MWANGI, yes. I'd like to hear from you. What are the tips to successful career life with that background information that we have given? Please let us know.
Thank you so much. I believe that success is not automatic. So if you have already said that this is my career, it's not a plug and play. It is a process. And that's why as the success into any career will be determined by the way you are ready to be processed.
You lost me a bit.
Yes. The way you are ready to be processed into that version of that career. For example, I've been a hotelier for the last 22 years.
How old
I started as a security guard. And I was a watchman for not a year, for 5 years. Because I needed to be processed.
Okay, I can see your faces. I am making the same face.
I needed to be processed. I came to learn early in life that this is a staircase. And no matter how good you are, you cannot jump more than 2 staircases. So I need to be processed in the first staircase, then to the second one, to the third one. I would see other people who, especially in hotels, you see people who are enjoying life. And if you're not careful, you start enjoying your life, and you're not them. Those are clients. You are an employee, so you may start living their life, which is not your life. So the main ingredient to a successful career is to be processed. And how does this process come? Personally, I believe it comes by identifying where you want to go in your career. Because I've seen so many people who have come for interviews, especially even trainee students who are coming from institution of higher learning. And when they come, you ask them, which course are you doing? They will say this particular course. I say, okay, what is the end game in that course? Who do you want to become? Once you are done and dusted with the course, who do you want to become? Most of them don't even know. They only want to carry papers that I have done this course.
Yes.
So in that case, you don't have a clear image of who you want to become.
What the
because
end goal is.
The Bible says that arise and shine, for the light has come, that the world will come to your light. So what kind of light are you shining so that the world can be attracted to that light? It is within a particular space of career that you say, in this particular space, I am the principality. You ask me anything in this career, I've already invested, I've already processed myself. And this is where most of them now go wrong. The moment you leave your school or your institution with papers, you think that now you are justified
you have
to
that
get.
Key.
So yes, you think that now it is your right to get that job. But when you get out there, where Pastor is saying now the rubber meets the road, you find that there are people who have been there before. So when you arrive there, you start goofing. You're not processed well. The version of you that the job market is waiting for is not the one you have. Ready. So you need to be updated to fit into that version. That's why you need to keep on capacity building yourself. Capacity build. So that when you stand and say, I've done civil engineering, I want to, or I've done mechanical engineering, I want to be a plumber. So they'll ask you questions and you'll be able to answer. Do not ask you questions and give them papers. No. It is for you to be processed well. That when people see you, they say, you're already providing a solution. There was a problem and you look like you are the solution to that particular problem.
You're filling a gap.
Yes. So, and that's where now you become of demand. You have value. Because there's something that is inside of you that people need. And the moment you have something inside of you that people need, then it's the case in the demand and supply. So if you have supply, then people will demand for that supply.
So I am getting, this conversation comes very close to my heart, because I think I'm in that phase and I'm still going through that phase. So I might let you monopolize the discussion so much, but I want to take a few questions and a few comments from the audience. And I want us to structure it like this. Have you ever tried to start small and then it has hit the wall, you know? Like, have you ever tried something and it has hit the wall? Now, the pastors have been very detailed in telling us that you should go through no shame, So maybe you have already passed the no shame part. You have fought the battles within you, and you have also gone through the process, because some of us are quite, you can say, you can assume that you have gone through the process. So tell us, have you ever tried and it failed terribly? Have you ever tried and it succeeded? Like I said, we represent people out there. So please tell us your stories. I want to hear a few stories. So where do we begin? All right, right here.
My name is MWANGI. I'm from Bati constituency. I'm a teacher. My first scandal is whereby the time I completed the time I graduated, there was I had a dream of opening an institution, a private institution.
Immediately after graduation.
Yes.
The dreams.
After there, the time I graduated, I decided to graduated well. Everything was well. Came back home. After a while, I just sat one day on my seat and asked myself, there's something that I had said earlier on. I would wish to do. One day I decided to start just remedial teachings of young children, 20 until the level where I decided to say, because I decided to say it's okay now, because the population of the people that I had, it was like 60, but they were tuition. Just I was tuitioning them. Oh,
so you're just doing tuition.
I was tuitioning them for that time. And I saw this population is too large. And I saw that I'm very, very capable of starting. After there, I decided to start a remedial teaching, evening remedial teachings.
Okay.
Yeah. So I decided to move from day to night.
Yeah.
Remedial teachings. Okay.
For children.
Yeah. After that, the people started. They saw from there secondary came.
Make it a bit brief.
Secondary came. I decided to coach them one way or the other. They were mixed. After there, I just decided to communicate to one of my neighbor. I told him, he was Pastor Career. Also, him is a pastor. And he told me, yes, you can.
You can open a school
now. Yes, you can open. And I shall support you.
Oh, okay.
From there, I got that morale and oomph of pushing myself ahead.
Did you eventually get to start the school?
I began. I decided. I decided to start it. And the time I went almost for 1 year and a half. All of a sudden, I decided to pick they're called water chairman, chairladies.
BOM.
BOM, something of the sort. Higher. From there, the storyline continued and everything they became well.
Becoming quite slow.
And one day, I decided to call a meeting with my BOM staffs. One of them, they were very committed themselves towards the institution.
The institution, yeah.
But all of a sudden, one day while we were seated outside with the teachers now, the government, Ministry of Education came.
And
they met us. And they met us while we are there. Also, just you are taking lunch. Now the teacher told me, you have to handle the situation. I told him I'm ready of anything. Also, he was called Mr. MWANGI, the director of Meru for education. And he told me, how many people do you have? Girls, boys? Does your teacher, do your teachers have TSC numbers? Of which I knew 3 teachers had TSC number with me. So you are 4. I told them, yeah, list them. The time that I told the teachers to list their names, the teacher said,
They don't have thesis number?
From that day, the time they went, they told me, now what's the size of the land? I told them this is a 3-acre land. And an institution, I noticed it is supposed to be 2 and above. And from there, they told me, now, everything you have. But, when did you graduate? I told them last year, but one, of which it was 2015. From there, they told me, you come to our office, first of all, lock the school.
Okay.
I decided to lock the school.
Okay.
And from that day, I've never dreamt of returning.
That is a very weird ending. We were expecting something else.
Hey, because you never know. I never know what would happen next.
Is it fair if I say that he had some sort of fear? Because you should have gone. If you had everything, you should have gone to the ministry. But that is not my place to say, and it is not my point to say. You have 30 seconds. Please tell us yours.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Naomi Blessed. Okay. My issue. Okay, it's a question. I'll direct it to Mr. MWANGI.
All right.
Okay, I've been having this. Okay, how will I call it? I've been having this. I can say like a pregnancy. It's something like, okay, it's something I've been carrying. And it's an idea.
It's an idea. Let's use that word instead. Okay.
Yeah, it's an idea that I've been having.
You have order.
So, yeah, I know what I've been in that industry since I finished my high school level. So I've been on that path. But my biggest issue is fear. Yani I've tried several times getting into that industry, but the end results are like pathetic. Yeah.
What was your question?
So my question was, okay, in that process, I'm in the process, and I have fear because my friends are like, okay, Naomi, you can do it, but what if you fail or something bad happens? Yani I have that fear of being ashamed. So how can I do it?
Oh, so how can you do away with the fear? Right, so all of these questions will be answered when we come back from the break. This is The Quench on MBCI TV. My name is WANGECHI KARIMI, and I will see you right after the break.
The Quench, where you ask, we answer.